record button, and then we're off. Welcome, good evening, 7 o'clock, it's Gavin, Preston, and welcome to the second in a four-part series of the Growth Map, the 12 steps to double your business every year. I'm calling you and speaking to you from Broadway in the Cotswolds, where today we've been launching our fourth cohort, DYB4, with a group of business owners ready and raring for the year ahead. And already in this afternoon, by this evening, we're having some really profound conversations that's really readjusting people's aspiration and focus about what they're going to achieve in the business. And then tomorrow, really equally as excited about the fact that we will be joined by many of our existing clients in the DYB process for a retreat that we call DYB Energize. And I'm really excited about the content I'll be sharing over the course of the weekend, and specifically some really powerful mindset stuff, and importantly, really solid stuff around how not only can we build success in our business, but how can we build financial freedom and wealth and net worth in our personal lives as well. So, yes, I come to you after a day of fantastic training and insights with a group of new people that will be joining us on the DYB, and buoyed up and ready to share with you the next four steps I'm going to share with you this evening about how to grow your business. How do you double your business? So I'll start with a bit of a recap, because I know from the people on the webinar, not everybody that's here tonight was able to join us last week. So I would like to start with a quick recap of what we were talking about last week, and then go into steps 4 to actually 7. First of all, for those of you that know me, know that I've got a business growth model at the core of everything that we do. And whilst I won't go into the detail of the model now, the points that I'm making all map back to different elements of the 6-step model, the strategy compass. So last week we talked about, first and foremost, it's really important as you are about to embark on a journey of growth, is to make sure that you've secured the growth platform, that your platform for growth is solid. So what do I mean by that? That your platform for growth is solid. With this maps across the capability on the strategy compass. So the first point is cash flow. Cash is king, as we all know, in our business, but we need to be very careful in the way that we manage that. Are we collecting money in quickly enough from our customers? Are we asking for upfront payments? Do we have a very active credit control process? Are we tracking? Are we forecasting with a spreadsheet or another cash flow forecasting tool the money's ins and out of our business? With that level of insight and clarity, we can make management decisions, and we're making informed decisions and not flying blind. Last week, we went on to talk about, and I won't go into detail now, but the importance of taking a percentage of what you earn and put it into a buffer, a cash buffer. Think about it as a war chest that will enable you to take advantage of investment opportunities in your business, or oxygen tanks to help provide you the oxygen through a lean patch within your business or a turbulent time within your business. It's really good practice to put a portion of your money, maybe of your revenue in, might be 2%, might be 10%, and aim to build up 3 months, even 6 months worth of operating costs of your business in a cash buffer. Look at your cost base. Where are the costs creeping up, and how can you control those costs and manage those effectively? Well, how can you create consistency of customer experience and consistency output of your staff by getting really good systems in place? And then look what you can do with your existing customer base to secure that pipeline. So last week we went into depth and we talked about, with our existing customers, where are the opportunities for you to upsell? Where are the opportunities for you to cross-sell in order to be able to build and secure that pipeline? And then develop a plan, get clarity. When you've got a clear plan about how you're going to achieve the goals in your business, it gives you confidence, it gives you certainty, and you take the actions necessary. But to get that clear plan, you need to be very clear about where you're heading. That's the outcome part of the model, getting absolutely clear about where you're heading in your business. So get your own house in order first. In order for us to grow, in order to push off, we need to push off against something solid. If the foundations are of sand and you're pushing off against that, then you're not going to have that leverage. You're not going to have that spring in your step. So of those things, what are in your business? Cash flow, cash buffer, cost base, systems, your pipeline, and the clarity of your direction. What are the things that you can do, you can take charge of to build that platform upon which you can grow and you can deliver solid growth? Last week I went on to talk about the second of the 12 steps is see it as a game and embrace it. Hey, we're meant to get challenges. Some of the conversations that I had with the group towards the end of the day today was about fear, about stress, about setting themselves aspirations about how they're going to double their business and more. And that's raising fears of anxiety, of concern, of worry, and questioning, can I do it? How am I going to do it? Am I capable? Am I the kind of person that can do it? Or that fear is, for many, debilitating. But actually, that fear can be illuminative in the sense that look into it, look through it. What are the things that we're concerned about? What are the things that we're anxious about? And then look about how we can mitigate against those fears. What are the plans that we can put into place around them? Jamie Jamie's on the webinar tonight. Jamie has heard with one of our other DYBW business programs that a friend and colleague of Jamie and I is Jason, who's on the program, and Jamie and Jason do business together with each other now. Jason runs very big, complex events, and he runs, for example, all of the AV, audio, visual networking for the Golf Open, and he manages to keep his head when everybody around are losing theirs. He's the ultimate cool cookie in the middle of a crisis. Now, I am always fascinated about what is it that people do that enables them to achieve great success. Success leaves behind it a trail of clues. And it struck me very, very early on about Jason's ability to stay calm. And, they're doing a big event where their networks and data feeds and AV equipment needs to be able to make sure that all the international journalists from all over the world can report on the Golf Open. And they need that instantaneously. If a piece of equipment fails or they have a fault, he just effortlessly, like a swan gliding across the water, conducts the orchestra of his team and creates a great result. But that comes from a really tragic story that he started his career, his working life in the Marines, and he got his green beret in the Marines. And within the first 6 weeks of his being in the Marines, the barracks he was based in suffered a mortar attack. And several of his mates died that day. It's horrific, and Jason ended up in a spinal unit and had to learn to walk again, and an amazingly sad and tragic and yet insightful story. And whenever Jason's got a lot going on or struggling or things are, technical term, kicking off around him, he just asks himself the question, is anybody going to die today? And the answer is no. And when we look at fear, and we look at the fear around the growth of our business, or fear around cash flow, or fear around things going wrong, sometimes it's really helpful to ask ourselves the question, is anybody going to die today? Is my family going to be okay? Yeah. Are we still going to be able to put food on the table? Can I still feed my family? Yeah. Am I going to be able to find a way through? It might be awkward, it might be difficult, but am I going to be able to find my way through it? Yes. That reassures, that helps take away some of the stress, and then see it as a game, a positive game, a game that can be won, a game that you're going to pit yourself against the challenge of that and grow and succeed from. So, second point, see it as a game that's full of challenges, inherent challenges that give you the opportunity to grow and to triumph. If we can see the curveballs that are thrown our way, the obstacles that are put in the path, as opportunities to learn, as all part of the game, then we can meet it head on. Then we can find a way around them. We find a way of overcoming it, but we can approach it with good spirit and good faith and certainty in our own abilities. Third point I shared last week was get clear about the difference that you're going to make in your marketplace. Hey, it's not about you. Too many businesses look inward, looking at their navel, and what it's really important that we do is we look out at our customers, and we look out as to the marketplace and the difference that we can make. When we make it about us, when we start to look inward, we get into our own heads, and we get caught up with our own technical word stuff. And I think one of my biggest insights at the back end of the last quarter of 2016 was, personally, was I need to spend more time and get out of my head. And I don't mean getting blind drunk. What I do mean is time to just get away from all the sensory bombardment, and time to feel, time to get in touch with my gut feeling and sense what's the right thing to do. Time to think, but think in a calm space. So just put in the in the question box, where's your environment that gives you space to think? For me, I need to be out in nature. It might be going out for a walk. It might be by the water. It might be just stepping outside the front door and breathing fresh air. But it's just something to get me outside, back into nature, take a deep breath, and give me an opportunity to think, but importantly, to check in with my gut feel about things. So where for you is your environment that puts you in a place where you get clarity, where you can sense what the internal voice is really trying to tell you, where you get that sense of gut feel? For some people, it's relaxing in a nice bath. For some people else, it's walking the dog. Where for you, just write in the chat box, where for you is the place where you get the biggest insights and the biggest moments of reflection. Yeah, taking a walk. Some people, it's through their sport. So now here's the point. The point is, once we are able to focus and look out at other people, and we recognize it's not about us, when we're focusing on serving others, then what we're able to do is call the very best of ourselves, because it's no longer about us and we can get out of our own way. So as the points there go, it's focus on serving. Okay, so let's go into point 4. If we're going to focus on serving, if we're going to get clearer about our purpose, we need to be able to answer a powerful question. And that powerful question is, so what? So what difference does your product or your service make to your customers and to your customers' customers? What difference does your product or your service make to your customers and your customers' customers? If we're focusing on the impact that we can make, so one of the businesses that has joined us at the launch of Group 4 for the DYB program, they're a craft brewer, and they create really distinct moments into a really distinct taste of their beers. But what was really powerful and insightful, interesting for me to hear was that the language around the process of creation, like we really care about the experience our customers are going to go in tasting our beer. We just don't want them to down it. In actual fact, we use some of the principles in making wine and crafting the tastes within wine in the way that we craft beers. Wow, that's pretty cool. So they're creating moments where people stop and savor in that moment the taste, rather than somebody else that might, take a mainstream beer and just sort of neck a half a pint or neck a pint. They're really creating moments where people will stop. Well, there is another business where they've created a video learning program called the Stand-Up Toolbox, and they're using the skills, teaching the skills of stand-up comedy to help people get the confidence to speak in business settings. So hold on, what you're really doing then is you're giving confidence. You're helping people cause others to laugh more. You're helping people feel good. you're making a tangible difference through the delivery of your product or your service. So, what are the problems that your customers or your ideal customers are looking for solutions for? Uh, you know, and how can you best serve that? So, if you take the example of a motor dealership selling cars, you might say, what problem is it? Well, somebody wants a car. Well, actually, they don't. They want a means to take a person or equipment from A to B. So how can you best serve that? Well, you can serve and solve that problem by selling the vehicle, but also you can solve that problem by an efficient service process with effective recalls if there's any problems in the vehicle, and vehicle health checks to make sure that you spot problems ahead of time so that vehicle reduces the chances of that vehicle breaking down. Many businesses, very successful businesses, have been started by the owner spotting a problem that wasn't being either solved or a solution, there wasn't an adequate solution in the marketplace. So look out for what are the problems your ideal solutions are looking for. Now, the more you understand your customers' problems, the more you can understand the solutions to those problems. And actual fact, the more that your customer or your prospective customer thinks you understand their world, the more that they're automatically going to assume that you understand the solutions to the problems that they're facing. So what we need to become experts in is the problems that our customers are facing. And actual fact, during the course of these webinars, I want to hear from you in terms of your questions about some of the challenges you're facing so that we're better able to help you address those problems. So the more you can understand your customers' problems, the more you can understand the solutions to their problems. The first stage in creating a relationship is to meet at a point of rapport. What are the things the way you can collection of minds and you can meet together on? Well, if you can meet your customer, your prospective customer in their world, so to speak, that you demonstrate you understand what they're grappling with, some of the challenges that they've got, then that's the foundation from which to grow a business relationship. It's the foundation upon which you can help them and you can serve them. And so what can you develop that will really move the bar in terms of innovation, or maybe it's in terms of in simplicity, or quality or value that will really help them address that problem? As the image goes, it's easy to make a book. It's tougher to make a difference. And the businesses out there that are making a difference in the world are the ones that are creating a followership from their customers, more of that in a moment, and are actively seeking out the understanding of the problems and coming up with creative solutions to those problems. I think it's really important that we stay relevant. We stay relevant to our customers and answering their day-to-day queries on what they're grappling with. What are the things that are keeping them awake at night? We've also got to keep asking the question, so what? So what can we do to improve? So what's the difference that we make to our customers? So why should they keep coming back and buying our services? So what can we do to get them to come back and buy again? So what can we do to serve at an even greater level? The step 5, consistency is crucial. Excellence, we all repeatedly do, is the Aristotle quote. So excellence is not an act, but it's a habit. To achieve great results in our business, we need to be able to do a lot of things a little bit better. I coached a number of years ago a young lady that was aiming to be in the 2012 Olympics in the modern pentathlon Olympic team, GB. And she was actually well on her way to being a part of that team until she got injured. And she was just a member of the public. She wasn't an athlete by background, and it was a brilliant public interest story that went with it. But one of the stories that struck me most through the coaching with her was that of the 5 disciplines in the modern pentathlon, if we take the swimming one, she got coaching from Duncan Goodhue. And Duncan said to her, I want you to focus in the pool each week, taking 1 second off your time, but 1 second each week cumulatively. Well, of course, over the course of a year, that's just shy of a minute. And that's a phenomenal difference, 52 seconds of difference in the course of a year. So we don't achieve that level of excellence by a one-off. It's the compound effects of the little things that we do differently every single day that absolutely will gather pace and momentum over time. And it's really important to get ourselves into the good habits. So what are the rituals that we can set up for ourselves on a daily basis? If you're a fan of podcasts and a fan of podcasts around business, I highly recommend that you check out Tim Ferriss's podcast. That's Tim Ferriss. And one of the questions that he always asks is, do you have any particular rituals? His latest book, actually his books are always a fantastic read, his latest book, Tools of Titans, he's dipping into what he's learned from asking all of the leading thinkers and business people. He's the answer to the questions, do you have any particular ritual that enables you to get the very best out of your day, your week, your month, your year? So in my experience, rituals are really important. Gets habits in place. It gets consistency. An athlete warms up before the start of a race. A racing driver warms up the engine and warms up the tyres before the start of the race. Do we warm ourselves up before the start of a day? Well, here are some things to remind you of how important it is that you should do at the beginning of the day. Be grateful. As entrepreneurs, as business owners, we're hungry, we're ambitious, we're always looking, where next? And let's also be incredibly grateful for what we've achieved so far. And it's also important to look back and experience that gratitude of how far we've come over the last month or the last year, and use that to fuel what will come next. Be grateful for when the good stuff happens in your business and in your life. Secondly, focus on what you want. Use that mental power to picture in your mind's eye first the things that you want to have. And you can visualize at two levels. One is the far-sighted piece, getting clear around your goals. And the second is the near-sighted piece about visualizing your day and having clear intent about what you want to achieve within your day. The power of the brain, the power of the mind is so powerful. And what actually a lot of people do when they look into the future, they often visualize the stuff they don't want to happen, the stuff they fear about, the stuff they worry about. Actually, let's spend time thinking and focusing on the results that we do want to achieve within our life. And to give yourself some space at the start of every day to focus, to visualize on the results that you do want, really sets us up well, and also sets up the sort of what gives you a very clear message to the subconscious about this is where we're heading, this is the direction, and you're open to the opportunities. Also starts the whole attraction process, but that's a conversation for another day. Get moving. You've spent 6-7 hours asleep, 8 hours asleep, maybe less, but your body has been relatively sedentary and still for that period of time. You need to get your brain oxygenated and your body oxygenated. So get up and move. Yes, that could mean go to the gym for half an hour or an hour, or it could be take the dog for a walk, or it could be just using one of those 7-minute apps that you can get for your phone and just doing a 7-minute workout. It could be just stretching. In actual fact, there was a recent study done by a psychologist in the US, one of the universities, who was saying that if the only thing you did in the morning was a big stretch as you wake up in the morning and stretch yourself tall in bed before you get out of bed, you'll feel more self-confident. You'll feel, your stature will feel as if you're bigger. You will start the day from a position of strength, feeling full in your sort of in your physique. Just that simple idea of just stretching out tall so you show up in the day with presence has been shown to have a big impact. So whether it's as simple as just giving a big stretch before your feet touch the floor in the morning, or actually working out several times a week, but do something to get the blood moving around your body and oxygenate the brain. Hydrate. You're taking on no liquid, obviously, while you're asleep. Your body is 70%, your brain is 70% water. It's often reported that if you started your day with a pint of water with, say, lemon in it, or even hot water with lemon in it, that's a fantastic way of cleansing the body and hydrating the brain, ready for the start of the day. Unfortunately, what a lot of people do, I'm so tired, I'm asleep, give me the coffee. Well, if you want the coffee, that's cool, no problem about that. I certainly like a great cup of coffee myself, but I'm always making sure that with every coffee, I've got a water chaser. In actual fact, more than that now, I get look to get through 2 1 litre bottles of water a day, at least 2 1 litres of bottles of water a day. And there's all this phrase that what gets measured gets done. Since I have been measuring that and making sure that I'm getting through at least 2 litres of water a day, I'm sleeping better. I'm managing to operate on less sleep. I'm getting less by the way of headaches. I'm keeping myself hydrated throughout the course of the day. So hydration. So rituals. Get in the habit of practicing great gratitude, being grateful for the good stuff that's showing up in your life. Be grateful for your health. I heard a story this week that really stopped me dead in my tracks about a lady, a business that I'm going to be working with their senior management team in a couple of weeks' time. And the finance director, I was talking to the finance director, and she said her partner in his mid-60s, before Christmas, they sold his business. What he'd been building his business up for his whole career, his whole lifetime. He sold his business. Great! Now I'm going to enjoy the fruits of my labours. I'm going to enjoy my retirement. 2 weeks later, he got diagnosed with the cancer of the esophagus. Whoa. Just stop me dead in the track. Let's be grateful for what we've got now and be grateful for our family, for our relationships, for our health, for the fact that we live in a country that's not a war zone. So set our day up from a point of being grateful, visualize where we want to go, what we want to achieve, get moving and hydrate ourselves. Point 6 in the 6-stage process is about how do we set goal setting. Now, a lot of people with their goals, they're very digital. In other words, 1-0. You either get the goal or you don't. And you set yourself a goal and you're ambitious, but what if you don't achieve it? How do you feel? Pretty crappy, right? So what's really important to do is create a session of progression. How are you going to move yourself in the right direction? So recently heard of this process around goal setting, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Set yourself 3 levels of goal. What's your minimum? What's your minimum target? So your minimum target might be, we're going to grow by 10%. No matter what, we know we can do it. We're confident we can do it. Or maybe 20%. What's your minimum? Then what's the target? What's the target you're going to aim for? And then what's outstanding? So growth minimum might be 10%. Your target might be to grow by 50%. Outstanding might be to grow by 100%. Well, as human beings, we respond to feedback, and success breeds success. And once you smash through your minimum target, you feel good about that. You can celebrate that. You're more likely to then move on to hit your target. And then when you've hit that, you're more likely to move on and hit outstanding. So let's reward ourselves for progress. Let's get a minimum, let's get a target, let's get outstanding. I've been recently playing with this and noticing how good it feels to exceed the minimum and how it keeps motivation to head towards the target and move beyond target to outstanding. In the past, I would have had what was the equivalent of achieving target, but the goals I set myself were outstanding. And I didn't always achieve those outstanding goals. And as a result of that, I found at times it was demoralizing. But now set yourselves up for success. Set those 3 layers of goals. Your bronze, silver, and gold is another way of looking at it, so that you can feel victory in that process of progression. I want to share with you number 7, point 7. Build relationships and tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Seth Godin, a fantastic author in the field of marketing and a brilliant thinker. Go to sethgodin.com and sign up for his blog. You won't read a more thoughtful, thought-provoking and insightful 2 sentences or 1 paragraph each day from any other source, I wouldn't have thought. An amazingly brilliant marketeer and thinker, constantly wanting to add value. And he wrote a book a few years back called Tribes. And he was saying that it's really important if we want to get people to buy into our product or our service, first of all, they've got to buy into what you stand for. So build a following. And you build a following by delivering value first. And not only I had this interesting conversation with a guy that, let me just say, is rather old school. And he said, I've heard all about the fact that we should put stuff up onto iTube, which I had to just keep my smirk hidden. Okay, so that kind of gives an idea about his approach to digital and online world. And he says, I don't want to put our best stuff about how we install our product onto iTube because I'm not showing the competition about all our secrets. Well, here's the thing. A movie trailer is 20 seconds out of 90 minutes of the very, very best stuff. When you go to see the movie that the whole 90 minutes isn't going to be all as action-packed or as brilliantly emotional or moving as those 20 seconds or 30 seconds of the trailer, but it's because of those insights to the 20, 30 seconds of the very best bits that you went to see the movie in the first place. Let's go out there and deliver value. Let's deliver our best stuff, our best, and create the most value and impact. And let's do it because we want to contribute to our marketplace and make a difference, and do it without an opt-in. There's it's interesting. If you go back 2 or 3 years, probably 3 to 5 years more accurately, in the world of online marketing and digital marketing, was saying, right, put up an ethical bribe, a lead magnet, and get an opt-in. So for some people, that might sound like a foreign language, but it might be a free report. It might be a DVD series. It might be your top 10 tips. And you give something away in exchange, you get back their email address to build a relationship. Well, first, before you even ask for that, just carry on delivering value. Build value to the point where somebody wants to engage with you, where they want to choose to opt in to hear more from you because they've seen enough to know that you and your business is going to add value. Are you being a thought leader in your industry? Are you contributing, whether it via little videos on YouTube, thought pieces in a blog, or video diaries, or contributions to industry magazines? Are you adding value to the conversation in your industry? Are you helping develop thought and leading thought in your business? Isn't it interesting when so many people are bombarded with all their social media feeds that we may feel that we've got 500 friends on Facebook and we may be connected, but yet amongst that feeling of apparently being connected to so many, we can often feel lonely and without connection. Well, if you're truly reaching out to engage with a group of people that share an interest in a marketplace and wanting to add value, What I encourage you to do is carry on adding that value, but look to build relationships. And what I've also noticed in a world of trends of digital, there's a counter trend, and that counter trend is to go to good old fashioned meeting people face to face, looking the whites of their eyes and shaking their hand and build proper relationships. Hey, we as human beings are tribal creatures. We get together in tribes, in packs, whether it be family tribes, whether it's tribes of friends and sporting tribes. Let's build our own tribe around our business and create a following within our business. Get out there and deliver great value into your industry or into your marketplace. So those were the points I wanted to share with you today. So we've gone through so far out of the 12 points I'm going to share with you. We've gone through 7 now. So number 1 was secure that growth foundation. Number 2 was embrace the game. Number 3 was it's not about you. Look outside. It's not about you. Number 4, ask the question, so what? What's the difference you can make in the marketplace? What's the difference that we can make it in that marketplace? Oops, wrong way. Number 5 was about our consistency and our rituals that we're setting up. Number 6 was about the way can we set goals. Let's set minimum, target, and outstanding goals. And number 7, let's build our tribe. Let's build relationships, both contributing through written articles, through audios or podcasts or video diaries or blogs or forums or focus groups. Let's contribute to the conversations in our industry, contribute to the adding value to our customers or our prospective customers before they've even yet become our customers, and go back to good old fashioned world of meeting people face to face, meeting people over Skype, building relationships, because of course people buy off people they know, like, and trust. So just as I'm sort of summarizing that, if anybody's got any questions they want to ask about their business, they want to put forward to me about their business, please sort of put those into the question box now. Any questions you've got, any thoughts, any points of reflection that you want to share as a result of me going through that content. For some of you that have heard me speak before, some of that is a refresher, just a reminder. Repetition is the mother of skill, as Tony Robbins says, and it's just bringing this stuff back to the surface that encourage you on a regular basis to make sure that you're actively doing these things. Remember, it's the consistency that's key. So if anybody's got any particular thoughts, questions, insights that they want to share with me, then please just put those into the question box. So I'm just refreshing that. So none at the moment. That's okay. So what I want to do is thank you very much for your attendance. Next Thursday at 7:00, I'm going to be sharing steps 8, 9, and 10 out of the 12 steps. In the meantime, if you've got any questions around, you want to post me about your business, then by all means, send me an email to gavin@gavinpreston.com. And if you want a private conversation with me offline to run anything past me about your business, then again, please drop me a line. Who knows, we may even find at least £10,000 to put straight onto the bottom line of your business. And shout out to Jamie again on the call. Really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow on the Energize Retreat, and you're going to absolutely love the content and the experiences that we've got planned for the weekend. So thank you very much for your attendance. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to speaking to you. Next Thursday, and next Thursday at 7:00, I'm going to be taking you through step 8, innovate to differentiate, step 9, engage your team, and step 10, collaborate. Thanks very much, and have a good evening and a good rest of week.